Hello, welcome back to the shed. It is I, Drew of the Shed. And thank you for joining me again on this Sunday for another Sunday message. Today, I'm smoking my Savinelli 625 Capri, and I am smoking some St. John's that was gifted to me from the Grateful Piper. And this tobacco is from the Owl Shop in Worcester, Massachusetts. Now, today's topic, I almost found myself in a rut thinking of what to say. And I actually had not come up with this topic until this morning when I was sitting in Mass, listening to the Mass, and I thought, that should be a topic, is actually listening. And that begs the difference of, well, what's the difference between hearing and listening? So, I have the window open, and it's a summer day. You might be able to hear in the background the traffic going by, the birds, the wind blowing through the trees, and there's a couple little girls down on the corner with a lemonade stand that will every so often shout, "Lemonade!" And you will often hear giggles from them, as young little girls are apt to do, and makes you smile because it makes you think of childhood. Now, that starts to delve on the difference between hearing something and actually listening to it. Hearing it is just recognizing the sound and going, okay, that's a sound. But the listening, the actually listening, you have things that you listen to, the laughter of a child, and how it brings back memories to you. But there's more to it than just memories. When you actually listen to something, and don't just hear something like somebody shouts something, you go, yeah. When you actually listen, you try to, one, derive an understanding of it, and two, actually build up a response. Once understood, you actually try to build up a response that adds something to what you listen to. It furthers the idea, or it can challenge your own ideas and make you question things. And so many times I think we just hear stuff. We don't actually listen to it. We just hear it. And I wondered, why is it? Why do we just hear things? And the first one is, well, it's hard to listen. It's an active activity. Because it actually forces you to understand. Not just hear it. It makes you forced to understand the idea that the other person is presenting. Secondly, it involves another person. I think us in the YTPC are lucky at the fact that we actually seek companionship of others. We do not wish to self-promote ourselves, which is very important to the activity of listening, because we are not seeking to self-promote ourselves. We are seeking to promote an idea. And a third reason, it challenges us to listen. It makes us look beyond what we have previously understood and hold dear to ourselves. And that can be an uncomfortable notion. Because, let's take an example of Harley Manpiper and I. Now, I love Case International tractors, but he loves John Deere's. And if I actually listen to him and say, well, John Deere is better for this reason, this reason, this reason, it would actually make me question my love of Case International. And yes, that is a very, very basic notion and trivial at best. But the triviality of us helps us understand the concept. Now, when I was in college, I was a moderator for a group called Sustained Dialogue. And the purpose of Sustained Dialogue is to bring two opposing groups together to actually have dialogue about a subject they might have disagreed upon, or just a subject that they don't necessarily consider the same way. And as my job as moderator was to take something that one side said and interpret it to language that the other side would understand. And I think that's where we sometimes get in a trap too of actually listening, is because we don't take the time to understand the language the other person is talking in. And that's very important, because each of us have different circumstances, possibly different cultures, and what one person says can mean something totally different to what another person understands. And that was what was so important about this group, was actually listening to one another, interpreting, being able to make sense out of what somebody else said. And through that, there was oftentimes great community from that achieved. So, this week I'm going to challenge every one of us. Actually listen to what other people say. And don't just wait to respond. Understand what they are saying. And with that, I'm going to leave you with a quote from Stephen Covey. Listen with the intent to understand, not the intent to reply. And with that, my friends, be kind and good to each other.